we're already late on some things, and I can't keep giving up excuses to these assholes. Hi, assholes. What's up, everybody? Welcome to GDP. I'm Dean. Yes, welcome to that thing I said. We got plenty of things to talk about this week. We're in no shortage of topics. We are not going to talk about the thing that CNN has been discussing this entire few days since it happened, because that's kind of despicable of them, and I'm sure you have some opinions, and I wish people cared about opinions enough from two random people on the internet to really adhere to that, because I'm just mad. I'm not even upset anymore. I'm just mad, but whatever. That is another time for another place. We're going to talk about other things, right, Mike? Other things, such as there has been talk of this new huge app that is coming out that is basically Yelp for people, aptly named Peeple.
I have thought about this kind of thing before. You know what I mean? It just...
it's weird. It's weird to say... it's weird to say you have seen this before, but not on South Park, not on Simpsons. This, actually, I've already seen it on Community. There's an episode called Meow Meow Beans, and it's basically... the entire school breaks into another sort of ranking system just on how many Meow Meow Beans you've been ranked as. The people with 5 stars are the high society, the plutocrats, and the people who are ones are outcasts. And everyone tries their best to get as many Meow Meow Beans as you can. But this is fucking dangerous. I can't imagine how many people think this is a good idea.
You know how I've always seen I feel like dating websites, what if people had profiles that they didn't make, that other people made of them or something, you know what I mean?
Ooh, good point.
That's what I was thinking, but
yeah.
It doesn't mean it's a great idea, because people are going to be offended and they're going to want to take theirs down.
Well, it's a weird thing. Have you ever seen Amazon reviews of products? I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have. If you're some sort of educated consumer, maybe. If there's 5 stars on it, then there's probably only 1 or 2 reviews, so you can't really trust them. If it has anything below 4 stars, it's probably terrible, because enough people have had very defective models to say, well, I got 1 star on this. Or maybe some people are fucking vindictive. The only good score you can have is something between 4 and 5.
I mean, you have to read the reviews too, you know what I mean? If there's 5 reviews and they're all
5 stars.
Yeah, and they're all 5 stars. I don't know if I believe that, but you could easily some people buy that.
Oh god, that's the other thing.
You can have your 5 friends
people pay for reviews.
Your 5 friends can review for you if you've got 5. But.
And how conceited would you have to be to pay for reviews on a people reviewing app?
Oh, on a people one. I was gonna say, you know what? But it might not. You might not see it as being conceited. You might just see it as this is a way
you're trying to fight the system.
Well, this will give me an advantage. You know what I mean? In life, everyone else has this, and this is a way to measure by. So if I can buy a better score or whatever.
I can already see people complaining that, oh wow, you looked me up on People and I'm applying for this job. What the hell is wrong with you? Sort of like how... I guess it wouldn't be too far off from people searching to see if you have a Facebook account when they're looking to hire you. But at the same time, it's dude, that's kind of my personal shit.
It's kind of scary, yeah.
No, it's very scary. We're already craving for social validation. We don't need that in the form of, stars on a website, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but to think that I don't know, it's just if you're I don't know, how would you it's so uncomfortable. If I was friends with you and we were on this website,
if I was friends with you and you noticed that I didn't give you like a 5-star review, that might hurt a little bit.
And you would be pressured to like write.
Yeah, just oh man,
like,
just give me a review on Peeple, like, man. I could use it. Like what? Are there going to be like achievements for this? Are there going to be achievements like get 10 5-star reviews, prove you're not a terrible person?
Feels so uncomfortable. Like, how would you? I wouldn't want to like have to review my friends. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't want to do that either.
And it would be weird also to review somebody that like you broke up with or like that. You're not really friends with anymore.
Like so how on Amazon reviews when you go back and just kind of like, oh yeah, they sent me a new product, a negative review, and I'm gonna give you 4 stars.
Who's gonna be negative? And then it's just I don't know.
Yeah,
it just seems like I wouldn't want to review somebody I liked and was friends with, and I wouldn't want to review somebody I didn't
Tinder,
like.
In a way, you know?
Yeah, like who?
Ooh.
Is it anonymous? Like, I don't understand. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be anonymous, because I think, from what I've heard, you need a Facebook account that's at least 6 months old to sign up for it. So I don't think the prospect of having anonymous reviews is going to be a thing on that. And if it is, oh god, it's going to be even worse. It's like the whole how some people point towards social media for bullying.
Why would you subject
It's going to be exactly like that. Yeah. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't unless you were very vain or 17 years old. Oh, God.
But can you review people who aren't on it or something?
I hope not. Then that would be the worst thing to possibly do. There's nothing about this that screams this is a good idea to me.
Yeah.
There is nothing about this. But you know what? There's nothing else like it. It's kind of like... It would basically make that leap towards... we are no longer people, we are now products for you to review. Exactly like on Yelp.
I mean...
And Yelp...
Yeah, Yelp is I could see, like, if you're, like, the owner of a deli or something, and people review and leave, like, reviews on Yelp, and they mention you, you know what I mean? Or your, like, stuff you made personally.
Well, you know what? The thing about Yelp is, and this is probably what is going to happen with Peeple, because I've heard that you could contest bad reviews to have them taken down. I don't know how big of a support team is going to be with that, but I had to do a project once that evaluated Yelp and their business model, and I still could not justify the fact that they were basically an organized mafia.
Yeah, because
you needed to pay them and have an account to take down bad reviews, otherwise they would put them at the forefront.
Yeah.
So you basically had to be like the best restaurant ever to justify not having a Yelp account.
I think I've read a lot of comments from people saying that as business owners they've been contacted by Yelp, and Yelp has basically said, like, you know, pay us and pay us, you'll suddenly have like really great reviews, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And yet, you know what I think there's only been like 2 or 3 alternatives to Yelp, and yet Yelp is the big thing. Like, I sometimes rely on TripAdvisor, even though I live where I would be using TripAdvisor, which I guess maybe defeats the purpose, but it still is the same thing. It's got the reviews. It still lists restaurants and businesses.
Basically, so they're choosing to be biased towards the people who pay them. You know what I mean? The people who give them the most money.
Well, wouldn't
their review site is biased towards them.
If you gave me money, I'd be biased towards you. Speaking of which, you still owe me $20.
I do.
You do. So this new model of us doing the show over Skype, although convenient for editing purposes, is costing me $20.
Well, it's not like I'm not going to get it to you somehow.
Yeah, I guess not.
I could always
give
you something on Steam or something.
Well, we'll figure it out. No, absolutely not. No, fuck you. I finally had cash in my pocket. I'm like, you know what? He's been a good guy. I'll just give him this thing. Whatever. $20 is $20. I need that money. Whatever. We'll discuss it another time, off camera, off microphone. But there's been no real alternative to this yet. You know what I mean? Like, Facebook doesn't let you review people. If your YouTube channel is nothing but you, then I guess those reviews would be a reflection on you. But you don't review people on Tumblr, And this kind of fills a hole that I don't think we needed to go to necessarily, but it's going to be there. It's probably going to be there. And I wouldn't have known about this unless a major news network, I saw it on CNN, was reporting on it. Yes, there's been online articles about it on like Tech Insider and Business Insider, but like CNN has actually been interviewing the CEO on this, and that is like the way to get enough people to sign up to make it worthwhile. You know what I mean? It's like going on Shark Tank. Yeah, no, think about it. She probably was on Shark Tank at least once. And I've seen some terrible ideas on there.
I mean, doesn't sound like it's for me.
No, the thing of it is, I'm probably going to not sign up for it as long as I can until I see everyone else on. I'm like, well, I know I said I wouldn't, but I might.
Oh, man. That's just not for me.
It's social pressure. It's like, I didn't want Google Plus until I realized it was a closed. It was like invite only, and I'm like, someone invite me. Someone invite me. I want to know what's going on here.
Nothing.
I resisted joining Facebook for the longest time. I was still on MySpace. I
have it, but
I was like, all right, fine. I'll do it.
I don't know. Facebook is not for me.
I gave Twitter a fair shake until it got hacked like mercilessly, and that's another thing. Like. Mm-hmm. I think I basically used Twitter just to get free shit from companies that were willing to give stuff out if I just tweeted them. You know what I mean? I got like a free game here, an achievement there. I think maybe I got a shirt. I don't know if that actually went through, but it was worth it. Huh. And then I think my password got sold to something and like, hey dude, I think your Twitter got hacked. Yeah? Really? I haven't really used it. And like something about diet supplements, and that's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, unless I was like actually advocating a healthy lifestyle instead of just lamenting about how unhealthy it was, then it might have made sense, but it didn't. No. People knew me well enough.
Yeah, Twitter's fun to read, I guess. I don't think I'm really like a tweeter.
Yeah, I'm not.
Some people are funny.
I sometimes reactivate it, but I think now I've just formally like deleted it because there's just been too many times where I used it in short bursts and then I just ignored it for the longest time.
Yeah, it's not really something I'm consistent with.
I mean, I would definitely love it to just keep tweeting, but there are just like those lulls in the day where you just don't have any ideas, and then you're like, is this tweet worthy? And you gotta figure, tweet worthy? That's not really a thing. That is never a thing. Because there are people that are just kind of like, oh, retweet, oh my god, best sandwich ever, and that's it. Literally that.
Yeah.
Like, there are tweets of absolutely no substance, so you don't even have to pretend to be witty. You can just say whatever the fuck you want. So, I might go back on that again. I might go back on that.
Conclusion.
Now that I'm thinking about it. The conclusion is, I don't have good ideas, but then again, so do other people don't, so I may as well.
Some people have ones that I'm interested in, though, that are funny. But I just,
oh, yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, definitely those. But as far as reviewing people, no, I'm probably... You know what, I said I might... I said I wasn't, I said I might. Now I think formally, no, absolutely not. I'm gonna stick to my guns on this one. Terrible idea. Unless I find out that they actually do sign you up without you knowing. Like, people make accounts for you. In which case, I might have to defend my honor here. Ugh.
Oh boy.
Okay, let's dive into some movie news, shall we?
Okay.
So, there's this movie, I think, yeah, it already came out. It's called The Walk. And it chronicles this tightrope walker that walked between the Twin Towers. Which clearly he did. Like, you already know the ending to this story, because why else would they make a movie about it unless he actually did it?
Yeah. Unless he...
It's like, no one would think to go over Niagara Falls in a... Yeah. No one would ever think to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel unless someone survived. You know what I mean? But
it's pretty scary though. To walk between two buildings at such a height. I mean, if you fall, you will not live.
You will not live. There is no. It's like when people tightroped across the Grand Canyon. There's no safety net there. You pretty much have to do it.
Yeah.
But I know I never would do it. There are tightrope walkers that face that kind of fear basically every day. But seeing it from his perspective has been enough to make people get motion sickness and throw up. So, the reality of 3D movie projections right there.
That's crazy. Do you feel like that's, I feel like that is kind of like almost like a story that they would want to come out about the movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that's the scene that people want. You could probably skip the entire movie, save for that 20-minute scene, and that would be all that people want to see. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like a roller coaster ride. Like you don't really care about the story behind it or what you're running from or like, oh, you're flying with Superman. No, you're there because it's a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah, it's for the thrill.
Am I alone in that?
The thrill
am I wrong? It's the thrill in that, but
very exciting.
At least this is like a reason for a 3D experience, because it would just be kind of weird if you're there because, oh no, he might fall. No, he didn't. Maybe he did. I didn't actually see the movie, but I'm pretty sure he did. It's kind of a safe bet.
I guess so.
He did, right?
Listen, I didn't see the movie either, so...
I'm tempted to Google it, but you know what? I'm ready for people to just scream at me, no, he did! Stop second-guessing yourself. But at least this is like a reason for 3D projection. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, there are movies out there that wedge in 3D scenes or 3D projections just for the sake of, like, bumping up those extra few dollars. You know what I mean?
I mean, this is a great candidate for a 3D movie. I think it's
because there's a reason for it in the first place.
It really is going to add to everything. Versus
it's
like
the reason for the season.
Yeah,
you know? Like if I say forced 3D scene, what is a movie that comes to mind?
Maybe I don't know, Transformers. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely see that because there's a scene in Despicable Me.
Yeah.
For those that have seen that, the original movie where the Steve Carell disembodied voice of Steve Carell takes disembodied voice of Miranda Cosgrove and two other girls to
amusement park.
An amusement park, and there's it's just like they go on a roller coaster, and it's shot from the perspective of you in the roller coaster.
Right.
And I'm like, this would not exist if we did not have 3D technology. There's, like, no reason for this. Like, oh, I'm in a roller coaster, but I'm sitting down. Like, no one had that sensation. You know
there
what I mean?
was, once upon a time, a sort of a deal with Taco Bell and I think ABC, where you could, if you got a meal at Taco Bell, you'd get these glasses, and then when you were watching TV, they did like the red and blue 3D split, you know?
Okay.
For the 3D goggles. So like regular TV was broadcasting a signal that was only really good if you had the glasses. I don't know if I remember like the Drew Carey show and like various shows.
No, I think I was around. I think I existed during those times, but I remember something very distinct. So
yeah, but so these were all like regular sitcoms and stuff that were on like prime time, and they all included 3D. Like, I guess it wasn't the whole episode, but it was like little segues like before the show and stuff, and before like commercial bumps almost. So like they'd have like these like moments in the show with whatever you know, they'd all just like do like, it was totally unrelated to the plot is my point. Like you're saying there were these scenes that were unnecessary in the movie. These were like super unnecessary. Like you'd come back from commercial.
It was just the gimmick. It was literally
they'd literally like throw confetti out and they'd be like, gee, I gotta get rid of all this confetti, and like somebody else would be blowing bubbles. You know what I mean?
That's so forced.
And
oh
then,
yeah.
And then,
yeah,
like,
I think I remember
immediately
that,
after like that kind of scene, they'd go straight like into the back into the plot or whatever.
Yeah. Oh god, that's so dumb. I remember a certain gimmick that Nickelodeon did, which was Smell-O-Vision. I think it was like in like Nick Magazine or something. They had like these pop out glasses that you had. And like it was like during specific programs where if you saw like the icon on the bottom right of the screen, like a little nose, it's like, oh, all right, I'll put these glasses on. I guess I'll like, you know, watch. I guess I'll like open to this page of the magazine, and oh no, I smell feet. I smell feet for some reason. Okay, all right. Or maybe there wasn't like any. Maybe I'm confusing two different things. Maybe there were 3D glasses.
Was it scratch and sniff?
Motion. Yeah, I think they did have 3D glasses for others, and then there was a scratch and sniff part. So maybe I'm like conflating the two of them. But I do remember Smell-O-Vision. That was an actual thing, and something that only Nickelodeon could get away with. Yeah, but no, this actually kind of makes me want to see the Walk. Was it the Walk or the Line? Is it Walk the Line with Johnny Cash?
Starring Johnny Cash. Did Johnny Cash walk between the Twin Towers?
Between the Twin Towers. If Johnny Cash came to the Twin Towers while they were still up, it said like, "Oh, I want to walk between those,"
while playing the guitar. Can you just, oh my god.
I was actually like thinking about that before. Like, can I do a Johnny Cash impression? No, because I think I have too much Elvis from Graceland in there. I'm just going, oh, let me walk the line. No, that's not it.
Yeah,
but the Walk. Yeah, definitely want to see it.
Nice.
Or maybe it's the Line. I don't know. I already closed out of the article. Okay, let's see here. Next one, we were actually discussing this. There's a video that goes with this, so I'm totally going to post this. But CBC posted this article about an Alaskan woman who had her kayak eaten by a bear right after she thanks it for not eating the kayak. And the article on this, the headline conveniently forgot to add in there top billing. It maced it. And then it started, it thanked it and then maced it for not eating the kayak.
She thanked it, yeah.
She thanked it, thank you for not eating, I'm going to pepper spray you now.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It was very, I did not, like, I don't know about what this woman's, I don't like her strategy here.
It was a very bad strategy, chat. Let's talk about it.
The bear comes up to her, it's curious, I mean, it's definitely not something you want to mess around with. She maced it, okay, that's fine. But she continues to, like, I guess because she's freaking out, she starts talking to it like it's a person.
Yeah, like it's a dog or
and she's
something.
Like, I'm going to mace you now, and like, please don't eat my kayak. And like, she starts like pleading with it.
Signals here. It's very mixed signals. If this was like a football play, I don't know what
she addresses it as bear, right? She's like, bear.
Maybe its name is Milton.
It was so, I don't know.
It's like if I said, boy.
Like, what are you doing?
Here,
like, this is a bear. You have mace. Go mace it in the face until it gets off your kayak.
Okay, so the order of events was thank you. She started recording. Thank you for leaving my kayak alone. And then immediately after that, I'm going to pepper spray you in the face. That's what I'm going to do to you.
Yeah.
She did. The bear, jumped back, started heading towards her kayak, which for some reason she wasn't near to begin with. It was her, the bear, the kayak. It starts going to it, just kind of like, stop it, bear. What are you doing? You're breaking my kayak. Why are you doing it? And she's, like, crying. She's like that when you're, like, yelling and upset. She's like that with her voice.
She's, like, freaking out, totally. I mean, it's not just that there's, like, this threat, like, to your life, this physical threat to you, but it's, like, she's alone on a trip, like, on a camping trip by herself, like an expedition, camping, and with a kayak, and that's, like, her whole means of transportation and everything, and he's just
she's
destroying
not even near it. It's a plastic fucking boat. It's not going to hold up to everything, but a bear though? Like, come on. You have to acknowledge that there are these kinds of wildlife in Alaska.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I don't know. There's always like different ways to.
Was there food in there?
I don't know. It never really said. I don't think she would admit to it if there was food in there. Otherwise, she'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I guess that was pretty stupid of me to leave food in something that could be destroyed. That's my only way home."
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
But I know there's different ways of dealing with brown bears and black bears, and right. I know in my case, honestly, I probably wouldn't have had bear mace to begin with, but I don't know if you're supposed to like approach the black bear or if you're supposed to like punch in the nose or lie down. I have no fucking clue.
Just like back away.
Yeah, I don't know. My instinct would be to just run away from any bear. Because those things will fucking kill you. I mean, they definitely tore apart her kayak.
They're like a serious threat. Like, there's a good chance that they're gonna just like
Stephen Colbert had like the right idea
of you as you are of them, but there's also the chance that they're just gonna be curious and want to come up and not good
smack the shit out of you.
Exactly, pretty much.
Because you, in their eyes, you definitely are food, but you are food that is willing to put up a fight.
Right.
It's like how they don't care about bees and honey because the bees won't sting them, but a muscular man, they might be a delicious food, but definitely gonna put up more of a fight than a bee.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, comparatively, bees fight to the death, which wouldn't take very long for them.
They've just got their hair is very thick, and it. Basically,
it doesn't go through. The stinger does not go through.
It's like bee sting armor, yeah. So they're vulnerable, like on their nose and eyes, maybe. And...
But they do fucking eat everything. So there is that. Yeah. Although, have we conditioned that for them? Like, I know seagulls, the majestic seagull and the illustrious pigeon, like they may have started out with like relatively normal diets, but I think we basically turned them into rats.
Yeah. I mean, seagulls are a little...
That's human conditioning right there.
Different, and pigeons, like, they learn from their parents how to get food. I don't know.
You know what? I don't pretend to care. All I know is I want to one day punt a pigeon. I was in Hawaii this one time, and I know that...
pigeons.
Yeah, no, I was in Hawaii this one time, and that alone is enough for people to say, "Ugh, this fucking guy." But in Hawaii, they do have pigeons. Don't know where the fuck they came from, but they were really unafraid of people. Like, there have been some that came up like 1 foot away from me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it would be so easy to just kick the shit out of you right now. Like, punt you clear across a building.
Why?
It's.
I guess.
Maybe it's it's the alliteration of it that's drawing me in here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to justify why I thought that. I was 17 at the time.
Okay.
No, I was 18. Doesn't really matter. But it was like, you know what? It would be so easy for me to just punt this pigeon.
Yeah.
Because kick a pigeon doesn't have the same ring to it. Punt a pigeon, though. It's like pat the bunny, punt the pigeon. I don't know. That's how my mind is working here.
Punt the pigeon.
Bunt the bunny. We could probably teach that to kids. I'm just saying. If they're already being accustomed to stuff like that, it's conditioning. The baby pigeons learn from the parents where to get food, and the adults teach the babies how to kick pigeons.
What? Dean.
What?
Pigeons? What's wrong with pigeons, Dean?
What's right with them? Let's start with that. What's right with them?
They're just birds.
Yeah, they're just
if you
there.
didn't leave food for them,
I don't personally.
You know what I mean? If there wasn't available food, they wouldn't be alive. So I mean, they're eating something.
But are you really going to try and command that in a strip of land that at any point might have like millions of people on it? It's like everything. It's quantum mechanics.
Like, I wish there weren't so many pigeons in the city.
I wish that too. But then again, I also wish there were less seagulls. And seagulls are fucking vicious. Like they will claw at you if there are enough of them, and you have like one itty bitty bit of bread. Although I have heard once, I do have friends that were twisted enough to try this. They basically made exploding seagulls. Have you ever heard of that?
You have to get they give them Alka-Seltzer or something.
Yeah, because like the birds, they can't throw up.
Ugh.
They can't regurgitate. So what they do is they took like little Alka-Seltzers, they wrapped them in bread, and they just since they'll eat anything, they didn't really like know not to eat Alka-Seltzer. So,
ugh, it sounds like something that if I was younger, I would think it was like
the coolest thing,
or like
bottle
an
rockets.
Interesting thing to do, and then like after it would be done, I would feel sorry, like like I didn't really want to do this, you know.
Well, I think the friends that tried this I think they were sociopathic enough not to have any remorse. So there was that. It's like the same sick fucks that would like drown kittens. Not them personally, but you know, the ones you would read about. Okay, moving on. Let's go to happier things. Let's go to theme parks. Let's go to amusement parks. Run by ISIS.
Yes, I saw this.
So we've seen Disneyland, we've seen Dismaland, but have we seen an ISIS theme park? And you know what? It's not even ISIS themed. It's not like, you know, here's the Allah teacups. It's just there. It's two theme parks.
I feel like
in Iraqi and Syrian cities of Fallujah and Raqqa. And they were open to mark the celebration of Eid.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the fact that they were opened by ISIS.
But there was a Muslim holiday last week, and it's like a celebration day kind of, and so they have this the way it looks in the pictures kind of is like you know when those carnivals? Yeah, have you ever had like a traveling carnival come and set up like
definitely.
at like a church center or something and it's like every ride is like a truck kind of. It's like a trailer that folds up. So they're all like I don't know. That's what it looked like to me. Like these, it was just like a kind of a portable setup, run of the mill like your standard rides that you've seen before, like the thing has all the swings on it that spins around and like.
Yeah, I think it's definitely on par
with teacups or whatever.
Yeah, it's on par with carnivals that we've seen.
Yeah,
here,
like standard stuff.
For them, that might be just like permanent fixtures.
Yeah, I mean they could just leave it. It's nothing. They could just leave it there.
They have nothing to lose from that. Like it's already very bleak there. So. What's wrong with having like a Ferris wheel? You know what I mean? Although I gotta say, like if that's kind of like that's a very tactical move there, because if we bomb these parks, despite the fact that they were opened by ISIS, there's no way for us to come out looking like the good guys. We bombed a theme park.
Yeah, well, there's no reason for us to really bomb a theme park.
There isn't, so it might actually be the perfect cover for terrorist activities.
I guess. I don't know. I feel like it's...
Because who's going to suspect a theme park?
I feel like it's news because it's just the idea...
We see them as like the living embodiment of evil right now, so... Well, I mean, some circles do. I don't really care that much, but I know they've done some terrible things.
I feel like it's more it's a controversy because it's like they have children that they're indoctrinating. You know what I mean? They have children that they're raising.
Are that? Yeah, but that's
under this like belief system. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like frightening to people. Like there are kids that are being raised right now and being like, you know, these are the people who gave them amusement parks, and I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm not changing my opinion of them. I'm not going to say like, oh, maybe ISIS isn't that bad after all, especially since the rest of the world is basically fighting them. So but I don't see any indoctrination in these parks themselves. Maybe it's not like, you know, oh well, say your prayers and follow your religious code, and then we'll take you to ISIS land. You know what? Do they even have names here? Oh,
ISIS land.
The Syrian city Raqqa, they call it Ride City.
Yeah,
I think
I saw that, but I didn't look into it.
I love how there's even media bias on this one too. Like I understand. Yes, I will keep repeating this. I understand. ISIS opened a theme park. Should we be worried? Are they indoctrinating? But it's like they seem to enjoy rides on a dangerous-looking rusty swing
that was ridiculous.
and an unseen bouncy castle. It's like don't fucking shit on a theme park. People have fun here. Calm your jets.
It's not like it's like they're focusing on like the quality of I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the rides themselves.
Meanwhile, it's it's an area where there's probably like a lot of other problems anyway that have nothing. It's just like if you went to Africa and some place, there'd be a theme park like worse than that or something.
Yeah,
it doesn't really make them bad because that's what they have access to.
Yeah, well, it's making some
other
people
things
happy.
make them bad.
Don't shit on them for Christ's sakes. It is kind of a...
Just do it for the right reasons, I think,
Where is this Yahoo based out of? I don't really know. Maktub. So what is... I think that's like the Middle East one. Because I'm seeing United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Middle East being reported here, plus the world. So, alright, well, there's that. Let's jump to another section of the world. Down in dear old UK. So a police station with all too much time on their hands went to visit a school and decided to settle an argument between 5-year-olds on whether or not sirens go nee-naw or woo-woo. And I think the only tragedy about this article here is that it does not settle this argument for us. So I think now we need to have our own discussion.
Oh my gosh.
Do they go nee-naw or do they go woo-woo?
I'm gonna go with I can see both, but
come on, it's got to be one or the other. It's two different phonetic sounds.
Yeah, but they're both there's no I don't know.
I'm gonna go nee-naw, nee-naw, nee-naw.
I'm gonna say they go woo-woo.
Oh, you jackass. They totally go nee-naw. I don't even hear like a ooh sound there. That's like New York City police cars.
Yeah.
No, come on, hot fuzz here. Hot fuzz. Nee-naw, nee-naw. Like, I could definitely see that.
That's
I could definitely see more nee-naw. Yeah, but they sound remarkably similar.
I don't know.
Fuck you, News Talk, for not settling this for us. Fuck you. But, all too much time on their hands, they decide to actually sound the sirens to settle this argument, and the reason it became news is because, they had to apologize via social media for disturbing members of the public. They don't apologize any other time, mind you. So, having them just apologize for sounding them for no reason, they really should just go like, well, we can sound them whenever the fuck we want.
How did they must have been excessive if people complained.
Maybe. No, I don't think this was started because people complained. I think they decided to take the first step and be like, yeah, in case you guys heard that, we're sorry,
You
I
think
guess.
so, yeah. Oh man.
For 5-year-olds, they should have just put the 5-year-olds on blast and said, it's fucking them. Curb your damn kids. Must have been little Timmy, the one that always has chocolate on his face. Throw stones at that kid next time you see him. He's the one that said woo woo.
And how did they what were they doing? Like they were just a bunch of kids around?
They were speaking with students from 3 classes on a Wednesday morning, and one of the youngest children, a 5-year-old, raised a question about the officers' cars.
That's great. I love that question.
Yes. I love that. At least the kid had the balls to say that. If like a police officer visited my school when I was a kid, we didn't have questions for them. We were just kind of like, well, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Go catch the bad guys, I guess.
Man.
But it also because I guess this was lacking in substance, they also reported on the fact that the police decided to take into consideration police rhinos.
What?
Instead of battering rams, I guess. Yeah, they will be looking into the possibility of training police rhinos to knock down the baddies' front doors.
Wow.
I think this is like an attempt at police just being too cutesy on
can
social
rhinos
media.
Be tamed and trained like that?
I seriously doubt it.
I seriously think they can.
Although I am looking for a Donkey Kong Country-esque world where we can ride rhinos.
Collect giant golden coins and bananas.
Yeah, and spell out Kong and go to a really, really weird world. Okay, no, but it's just kind of like back in the day, in the early days of GDP, we did talk about Groundhog Day, and how there were some mayors and law enforcement talking about, oh, if there's going to be more snow, we're going to arrest Elsa from Frozen, or we're going to find that groundhog and make sure he stays out. Ugh. Like, don't fucking pander like that. You guys shoot and kill people that are very dangerous to society. Please don't.
Yeah.
Mini rant right there avoided. Good thing we have this semi-venting session here. Alright. Next up. So someone, I don't think that mentioned who, it's some sort of internet vigilante, has hacked 10,000 home routers, and instead of harvesting that information for sweet money, they decided to plug up security holes and warn people. They hacked them to make them more secure.
Now this is like, I remember there was like the MS Blaster virus or something. There was some virus, I forget the name of it, but it was a Windows XP virus, right? Do you remember this? And it was like a widespread thing. And basically the guy, like, I don't know, or was there some virus with Microsoft Windows where the person didn't do any harm, but like just made the vulnerability like super aware, and then Microsoft had to patch it.
Yeah. No, it's basically someone finding holes in the Microsoft system and then saying, hey, I can get into your computer. May want to close this up. So this guy does the same kind of thing. He hacks in through your router. He finds some very popular security holes. And he just alerts you to it.
It's like more proactive than just like alerting the company to their security hole.
Yeah. Let's see. Port typically he discovers a potentially vulnerable telnet port through the router that is used to control functions on the device and is often protected with default crackable passwords. This software that runs through it, Wi-Fetch, shuts it down and then asks the user to change the passwords and update the firmware. So, wow, it's really awesome that someone has enough time on their hands to find security holes basically for free. I think I remember there was this article a while back, like, saying there was... It wasn't like LifeLock, which has already challenged people to hack into it, and they have successfully.
And the guy that put his social security number, like this, doesn't the CEO put it? He actually had like a bunch of.
So he had like a lot of identity fraud after that.
Yeah, like people used his identity to get. His.
But I think it was like a security hole in Google or something, and if someone could exploit that, they were offered a job. Or no, I think it was Valve. I think it was Valve software that did that. Like, if you can hack through Valve, they offered him a job. No.
Facebook?
I think I'm conflating two stories. I think the one at Google got the job, and I think the one at Valve got the police called on him. Yeah.
That's
my God.
I think there's rewards that you can get. Like there's monetary incentives to report, like finding holes and bugs and reporting them to the company. They have like bounties for them, I think.
Yeah.
So like it's like instead of you using this to try and make money, you can just hand it over to us and legally like get money from us for it. And like I don't know. I think a lot of companies have that. Yahoo must have that.
Yeah, probably, because there's only so much you can do on your own home front that you're like, okay, well, it's secure. Well, did you check? Yeah, I fucking checked. Whatever, man. Before, like, someone else who uses the system just like, yeah, guys, there's like a glaring hole here. And since if you have like if you have a service that's used by thousands, tens of thousands, millions of people, someone's going to break the system.
It's just it's like a fresh pair of eyes looking at it, and they see the things that the team didn't see, or that that the testers didn't find, or something. And
I think that's why a lot of people who are making games now go early access. Because it's like, okay, well, it's basically free beta testing for us, and you give us some money to help develop this. Which, it's not a great system, but it's something. It's definitely a development that's going on. I gotta say, though, after like reading this article, Forbes is definitely hating the guy that broke into the system, just to warn people that there's a security flaw. It doesn't look like he's doing anything else. But he's like, but the article is writing like, oh, he could do more malicious actions if he wants, or if anyone doesn't want this, they could just reset their router. Like, dude, he's doing a public service here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's maybe why we need like municipal internet instead of like these big companies. Like, what's your service provider now?
Optimum.
Yeah, I got Optimum too, and I gotta say, after all these people complaining about Comcast and Xfinity, I am so glad that Optimum is like a shining example of what local internet needs to be.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, it sucks every once in a while when the internet goes out, or whatever.
But at least it doesn't sound like you have to hassle. You have to hassle with them every day.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's kind of a monopoly in this area, or I think it might, but it's like the good kind. Like, they got free Wi-Fi if you're a customer in some places.
Yeah, like hotspots.
Yeah, they got hotspots in a lot of. It's not the greatest, but it's certainly a step up. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, if Google Fiber came here, I don't know if I would switch.
Really?
Like, the choice is obvious for a lot of people, but here it's like we got something pretty good here.
Yeah, I would want Google Fiber.
Well, it depends on how good it is, and even then, Google already like takes hold of everything else on the internet too. Why not just give them? Why not just give them money for providing internet?
Right? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's kind of overdue in my case. It's like we use all of their other services for free, and they're like solid services. Why not just start giving them money and they'll provide internet too? You know what I'm saying?
And it's like better, I think. I think it's definitely better.
Yeah, I think so. So last article that I got here is maybe some people have seen this. It's kind of like it looks like a newspaper clipping.
Yeah.
Of a male Navy who was pretty damn intoxicated. He was too drunk to start the vehicle, so he went into the park, captured a raccoon, had that blow into the interlock system, and then the raccoon became unconscious, woke up, and attacked the man. That's basically it in a nutshell, but it's one of those things that's just like, oh wow, that's pretty fucking interesting to read.
It just seems, I don't know. A raccoon.
Yeah, a raccoon of all that. Why not just get someone else to blow into the... That's what I always had, like, an issue figuring out here with all of these, like, oh, you need to be sober to drive things. Like, why don't you just get a friend to fucking do that?
Right.
Because I don't think... might be the fact that he was drunk. Might be. Yeah. But I don't think he figured this whole thing out, because when the raccoon was unconscious, you're not really able to get more breath out of it. You know what I mean?
That's so weird. I don't know. It just...
Because he basically chucked it into the back of his car anyway.
I just feel like if you are... It's not even the point. It's the point is you're too drunk to drive, so why are you trying to drive? Like, why do you need to drive right now? Why did you put yourself in this position if you have this on your steering wheel, you obviously already had a problem. What are you trying? You're like just trying to do it again.
Yeah, no, that's
it
actually
seems
kind of
horrible. I don't know.
But it turns out that this crazy story of a man using a raccoon's breath to drive.
Yeah. Nonetheless, he somehow captured a raccoon.
Yeah, like, that raccoon must have put up raccoons anywhere would put up a ridiculous fight. I know the internet is starting to see them as, like, these cuddly animals that are adorable with their little masks and they're stealing food.
Now, where was this?
This was in San Diego.
Okay.
Camp Pendleton, San Diego. Let's see. Image shared widely on Imgur. Police document. He failed the test. Spied the raccoon. And it's like... fucking Christ. But I think people are finding out, I don't think this actually is real. Let's see. According to the police document, as stories go, it's pretty unbelievable. If it sounds too good to be true, that's because it is. And it was confirmed to be a hoax.
Oh my gosh. See?
By the San Diego Union Tribune. So, there's that. I mean, it's not that crazy of a story to begin with. I mean, like, yes, it is pretty weird that someone would conceivably take an animal that is known for rummaging through garbage and use that for its breath.
And, like, I don't think a raccoon is just going to let you pick it up. Like, I'm pretty sure it's going to bite you.
It's going to bite and scratch you.
Yeah. And, like, not tolerate. And no one drunk would, I don't know.
It doesn't matter how drunk you are. I think you could hear, like something, like, ready to kill you. But the dumbest thing about looking at this is that on this page, on the Telegraph, I don't know how often the Telegraph uses these things, but, like, it has a survey saying, if you were the raccoon, what would you have done? And I think the obvious answer here is, you're not a fucking raccoon.
Well, I would have probably tried to get away from the guy, you know what I mean?
Let's pretend we're a raccoon for a second. What would you do? Well, gosh, now that I realize I could pretend and be whatever the fuck I want, I want to be a dragon. Let's see. If I were the dragon, what would I have done? And then we come back to this. I'm not a dragon.
You do whatever you want, you know? You're a wild animal.
You're a wild, imaginary animal. You do what you want. I feel like my fiance with this because she's terrible with hypotheticals, but it's like, I think this bears repeating. You can't really imagine what you would do as a raccoon because, surprise, you're not one.
I mean, to an extent.
And even then, there's only one rational explanation here. There's three options. You would have curled up in his lap affectionately, you would have grabbed the steering wheel and driven around, or you would have bit and scratched him. And that's what Harold and Kumar had, for fuck's sake. You would have bit and scratched him, maybe thrown up blood on him.
It's definitely,
I can't believe I mentioned that because now I want White Castle. Fuck.
Yeah.
Is it still storming out? Is it storming where you are?
It's blustery. I don't think it's raining as hard as it was.
That's kind of where I am. For those of you who are spatially unaware, Hurricane Joaquin has been basically veering away from the coast. But if you are on the coast, you're still supposed to get rain and wind. Like that's kind of how massive windstorms are supposed to work. So yesterday was bad. Today, I think we're still just kind of waiting it out. But even then, I still don't want to go outside. Although I have been promised that we will go to the magical land of IKEA.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to gorge myself on meatballs because that is exactly what you're supposed to do.
I've never eaten at IKEA.
You've never fucking eaten at IKEA? You're like 15 minutes away from there. What is your deal?
I never had to really go there. Recently, I mean.
You've never had the need to look at very cheap looking furniture.
Not since a long time ago.
Okay, now you're just.
But I also never ate there.
They have hot dogs there that you could buy for 50 cents and they're good.
Oh yeah. But I wouldn't just go there to eat.
You can get leery of a hot dog that is sold for $1, like, on the streets of New York. You can get very leery of that, and appropriately so. But this is in a Swedish furniture store that has no reason to be selling things like non-fat yogurt and chips and pizza and cinnamon buns and hot dogs in the first place. So I think for some reason you can trust them. And you know what? My gut has never let me down like that before. Oh, God, I'm getting... But the meatballs! They
have meatballs, huh?
They have meatballs there in like a weird, for some reason, dining area where all the showrooms are.
I recall a story about horse meat.
Yeah, I remember that too. And it was just kind of like, yeah, I think we found out we had horse meat in there.
And the
maybe
meatballs?
Because I think it was some sort of religious objection.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was like, oh, well, we didn't really anticipate horse meat in there, but, you know, it's there. You guys ate it.
Deal with it. I wouldn't care.
You can't...
It's food people eat. I mean...
Yeah, no.
I think we just think of horses as, like, having personalities, and it's, like, kind of less of a thing you want to think about.
Well, it's like, okay, alright, how do you feel about...
Most people, if they had to raise chickens, wouldn't want to kill them at the end of the day, you know?
I know we talked about that, but I think I would still do that.
Yeah, I would be able to do it.
Like, you do owe it to yourself at least once.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think I talked about this with some people at con, and I'm like, you know what? I think I still would go through with it. It feels like a duty that it's like making a pilgrimage to Mecca. You know what I mean?
Okay, I don't know if it's like a duty, but I don't have a problem with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something you should try at least once.
Kill the food that you eat.
Yeah, because like if you raised it tenderly enough, and then used it for its food, and you have no objections to it, it's like, okay, well, all right, you're fine with it. Mm-hmm. But if you do, then maybe you should kind of reevaluate what you're thinking. Because I know that's why some people do go vegetarian, but they just see the atrocities that happen. So maybe doing it yourself. I don't know, because that's how people used to do it. You know what I mean? That's how it used to be done back in ye olde prairie times.
Yeah, I guess people who care enough about it will talk to their butcher.
If you have enough time and effort,
you'll find somebody
to make your own sandwich.
You'll find somebody that you trust, maybe like a meat guy you trust, and like a bread guy you trust, or something, or such and such.
But what was it? Oh yeah, how do you feel about other countries using like dogs and cats for food?
See, like that's like the same thing. Like it's not any really too much better or worse than like rabbits or lambs.
But do you have like a moral objection to it? Because I don't. I'm not going to go ahead and tell countries like Korea, hey, we use those as pets. Don't eat them.
It used to be a thing. Like, yeah, it's just like a thing that for us seems strange because of. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that either. Bad, I don't. You know.
Yeah, I don't, because like we're at the very base level, we're all food in some way. We're all food to something else, be it bear or other humans. So I don't have an objection if other countries do. Like there are some people here that take care of pigs. There's some people here that have pigs as pets. I had a friend that had a pig, potbelly pig for a pet once.
Yeah.
They didn't eat it, but that didn't stop me from eating ham. You know what I mean? And ham is delicious. Oh, speaking of which, I got some bacon that I need to cook.
Yeah.
So, I got some bacon that I need to cook. So I think that's a pretty good segue for us to say, hey, you have anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, not really.
Nah? Alright, because I'm going to get my bacon on.
Okay.
Or bake on. Alright, so, alright, thanks for tuning in. Yeah. You know who we are. I was about to say, I'm Dean, oh, I'm Mike. I was just like, you know who we are by now. Calm down. We already said it to begin with. You know what? Rewind this from the beginning and give it another listen if you want to be sure who we are.
Okay.
Right. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.